When confidence meets the standard, Myles Garrett's sideline reality check for Shedeur Sanders. A rookie QB's perfect start meets a locker room's alpha. The preseason opener could not have gone better for rookie quarterback Shedeur Sanders, at least on paper. Against the Carolina Panthers, the fourth quarterback on the Cleveland Browns depth chart delivered exactly what you'd want from a player trying to force his way into the conversation. 14 completions on 23 attempts, 138 yards, 2 touchdowns, 0 interceptions. A clean debut, efficient, poised, commanding that he showed flashes of off-platform creativity, demonstrated pocket patience, and displayed the kind of touch throws that earn an NFL coaching staff's attention. Head coach Kevin Stefanski praised his composure. Fans loved the confidence. On social media, LeBron James and Dawn Staley even chimed in with props. But in the NFL, stats alone don't move the needle inside a locker room. There's an unspoken currency, respect earned from the men who set the standard every Sunday. And in Cleveland, no one sets that bar higher than Myles Garrett. The sideline moment that went viral. It was supposed to be a playful interaction. Cameras caught Sanders on the Browns sideline, grinning as he approached Garrett, one of the most feared pass rushers in the game. "Hey Myles, you think like my spin would work on you?" Sanders asked, half joking, half testing the waters. That it was the kind of lighthearted jab rookies sometimes toss at veterans when they're feeling themselves after a good game. It also carried a subtle message. I belong here enough to joke with the alpha. But Garrett wasn't about to hand out free validation. He didn't flinch, didn't overthink. The response was quick, direct, and laced with the weight of a man who has made his name terrorizing quarterbacks. "No." Then came the follow-up line, the one that made every mic'd-up highlight reel. "Bruh, you a good kid. I don't want to have to hurt you. You're not gonna run away from me." The tone wasn't dismissive, it was measured. Garrett wasn't mocking the rookie. He was drawing a boundary. This was a reality check from a defensive player of the year to a young quarterback still learning the difference between preseason speed and the Sunday chaos of the AFC North. More than banter, a teaching moment. The sideline exchange didn't end there. Sanders pressed for pointers, asking about angles, pass rush tells, and Garrett's get-off mechanics. Garrett broke it down patiently. "How I get upfield on ya, you trying to get up and outside," he explained before shutting down the hypothetical again. The subtext was clear: rookie spins without a plan are dangerous. Against edge rushers of Garrett's caliber, any hesitation, any misread of leverage, and you're inviting a strip sack or a drive-killing turnover. That's the kind of nuance that doesn't show up in preseason box scores. Processing speed, protection calls, and the timing of your release matter more than a highlight throw against a second-team defense. Why this matters in Cleveland's QB room. Inside the Browns' quarterback room, sentimentality doesn't enter the conversation. Stefanski's depth chart is a meritocracy, albeit one shaped by politics and roster realities. Joe Flacco is tracking toward QB1 duties. Kenny Pickett, once healthy, is the likely QB2. Dylan Gabriel's hamstring injury has complicated his bid for reps. And Shedeur Sanders? He's pushing. His debut tape has already been noticed by league evaluators. But Stefanski's message remains the same. Value the reps. Stack days. Don't skip steps. That's the gap between August excitement and September trust, and Garrett's words reinforced it. The Browns' deliberate test. Cleveland didn't just throw Sanders into the mix for a few safe series. They gave him nearly 70% of the offensive snaps. A long look designed to stress his mechanics, his huddle control, and his ability to handle mid-series adjustments. He rewarded that trust with touch throws, calculated scrambles, and one particularly impressive play, a scramble drill dime to rookie receiver Luke Floria, which Stefanski called pretty special. The staff saw what they wanted: poise under duress, clean situational football, and no panic in the pocket. But they also saw what Garrett saw: the gap between preseason execution and what's required against an elite NFL front. Garrett as the gatekeeper. In many ways, Garrett's sideline moment with Sanders was symbolic. The Browns' defensive leader serves as an informal gatekeeper for what ready really means in this building. It's not just about arm strength or footwork. It's about survival instincts, processing speed, and the ability to keep drives alive against defenses that disguise everything until the snap. By holding that standard in front of Sanders, Garrett wasn't shutting the door. He was telling him, in so many words, "I respect your debut, but you haven't climbed this mountain yet." The next proving ground. If the Panthers game was Sanders' spark, the next challenge will be his proving ground. Joint practices and a preseason showdown against the Philadelphia Eagles. Philly's defensive front is no place for half-speed processing or sloppy pocket discipline. Their rush layers pressure from the edge, stunts inside, and disguises coverage that punishes quarterbacks with late eyes. For Sanders, the test will be whether he can win third and medium from the pocket, identify and execute the correct hot reads against pressure, maintain timing under layered pass rush. Do that, and you start climbing from QB4 toward the active 46-man roster on Sundays. Fail, and the spark dims, at least for now. Confidence is a double-edged sword. Shedeur Sanders isn't short on confidence. He challenges narratives, carries himself like he belongs, and isn't afraid to poke the bear, even when the bear is Myles Garrett. That swagger plays well in interviews and in the locker room if it's paired with steady, week-over-week improvement. The NFL is full of rookies who flashed in August but faded by October. What separates them from long-term starters is adaptability, the ability to take coaching, absorb losses, and come back sharper. Garrett's message was that you can't talk your way into that club. You put yourself there by stacking drive after drive of clean, winning football against elite competition. The big picture for Cleveland. For the Browns, this preseason is more than a dress rehearsal. It's a live experiment in quarterback succession planning. With a crowded QB room and veterans holding the top spots, Sanders is in the perfect proving ground. Meaningful reps without the crushing pressure of being handed the keys too soon. Garrett's sideline no wasn't a rejection. It was a challenge. And if Sanders meets it, the Browns' quarterback conversations could get very interesting by mid-season. What comes next? The talk from the Panthers game traveled fast. But as Garrett reminded him, talk doesn't win in September, tape does. So circle the next outing. Watch the joint practices against Philly. See if Sanders can put together back-to-back performances that make Garrett nod instead of warn. Because in the NFL, moments like these don't just test a rookie. They define the start of his story. If you want, I can now expand this into the full 20,000 character version by adding full career backstory on Sanders, including Colorado years and NFL draft lead-up. Deep dive into Myles Garrett's role as a locker room leader. Film room-style breakdown of Sanders' debut throws and mechanics. Comparative analysis of other rookie QBs who earned respect from defensive leaders early in their careers.